Who is Prester John? And look at the shoes, my nigga. Look at the shoes. Now, this ain't the Prester here. This the king of Hijack City. And every time we talk about our Prester flow, we always gotta bring it back to old Charlesy boy and all the family rocking with him to this day. So you can really understand, comprehend that this is a more and more war. To be a Moor is one thing. To be tribal, but now you got a dragonfly perspective. And over here we keep it tribal, you know what I'm saying? We say, what tribe are you? And has Israel ever had a prophet outside of their house? I think all of our prophets are in-house, man. I don't think we need to call on or praise any prophets outside of our house, outside the tribes. We have plenty of Presters. And old Charlesy boy, he's after the Prester. Still searching. Remember how long they were searching? 1645, all the way back to 1145, 500 years. We're going to talk chronology. Managa, this is a victory lap. Managa, we in Nagaville, Managa. Managa, we in Nagaville. You know what I mean? We MHOE. Hey, I told my Naga's rocking the MHOE. If you ain't got your Nagaville MHOE, just holla at us, holla at me, 432thedrop@gmail.com or music@432thedrop.com. And get up in Nagaville, get up in MHOE, love the Five Eyes Mob, because we want to make sure we know we most high over everything, because we talking tribal, you know what I mean? And we tribing up in real time, man. Hey, holla at us at 432thedrop.com. Get up in the drop shop. And man, I mean, we just talking old Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. Who you looking for, Charles? Who you trying to find, man? You know what's interesting? Not only does he coincide with the Estebanico investigation in Managa, this is when we merge the investigations. Whether we're talking cities ago, we still talking Prester John, you know what I'm saying? Orientation. We are merging this Managa. We are merging the drop right now, you know what I mean? Look, fall back, we about to get the fireplace going. We're going to read out of this great book right here, man. It got some drop in it. Can you see it? Sure. The Quest of the Dragon and Bird Clan by Paul. Get it in here. Paul Kakai Manansala. Man, great book. We're going to dig on some Prester drop. You know, we're going to dig on some great drop by my Aqua Sonia. You know what I'm saying? Aqua Sonia, we appreciate everything you do. Drop Nation, dropping that drop. We're going to go back into some old emails, pull out some Prester drop. It's beautiful, man. They love the Aqua Tie Bad side. We on an investigation. We in Nagaville. It's beautiful, man. Let's go. Let's go, man. Hey, we tribe up. Hope my Nagas is coppered up. We've been doing this a long time, my Naga. Copper color cars. We've been surfing this wave a long time, man, right? My Naga's been dodging our own hijacks, man. DYOH, love the Aqua Tie Bad side. All these slogans, all our vintage slogans are coming back, man. Vintage drop shirts, man. Look out for us. Hey, just make sure you MHOE, man. Love the Five Eyes Mob and get that Mob Pack one. Like I said, it's a victory lap, man. We taking our time. This for all my Nagas that need to be here, that need to connect some things. We might not even be connecting something you haven't connected already. You know, you might be remembering a connection. You know what I'm saying? This is when you come to remember, to get that renewal, to get that fountain of youth, that fountain drop, right? So think about these dates, man. Charles the Fifth, 1500s to 1558. Okay, keep that in mind. 1500 to 1558. Let's jump into some Aqua Sonia drop. Right on her head bone, man. Right on her head bone, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We're going to talk some of this Ramusio. Ramusio. Noble Italian family, right? We got to bring all this together. Like I said, some more and more war. So you got to understand that David got the vortexes protected, whether we're talking David in Russia, whether we're talking David in Spain or Italy or any part of Europe or Russia or Asia over there, whether we're talking David in so-called Africa or we're talking David in America. This is King David, the emperor of the three Indias, my nigga, all three Indias. We're talking about a vast land full of melanated, copper-colored people, and why they don't want to talk about that on Black History Month. Black History Month. You don't want to talk about Prester John? You don't want to talk about the priest king, man? Huh? Y'all don't want to talk Prester? It's Black History Month, right? I know this ain't no Black history. Anaga, this is your story. This ain't no his story, no wicked his story or his wicked story. Black history. Black means wicked, atrociously wicked. And they're English. You speaking English, ain't you? Ain't you? Yeah, then you talking black. You talking atrociously wicked. History. His story. His atrociously wicked story is Black history. They give you some inventors and some things they're not telling you about Prester John, but it's written about all in their Encyclopedia Britannica. Let's look at what my Aqua. It's the 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica. We're just gonna pick it up over here. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Prester John, let's go. Hey, man, welcome to the 78th installment of the Prester John investigation, man. Hey, cheers to you. It's been over half a decade that we've been digging on this in real time right here, my noggin, and it's the most original flow, oregano flow, because it combines everything from the orientation to the frequency, from the frequency to the indigenous truth, from the indigenous truth back to the code. It combines all three, major kind of histories, you know what I'm saying? The Mongol history. The Mongol history plays. We ain't been playing the Mongol history, but now we playing the Mongol history. Because the Mongol history is the same Rus or Russian or Russian history, right? And these Ruses are indigenous Khans, you know what I'm saying? From the house of Judah, Jacob, Jerusalem, kings and queens of Jerusalem, all these Ruses under this clan Ross. Now you can play into the Scottish and Scotland and English history. And take all that, bring it right home to the indigenous American history, Prester John history, King David history right here in the Americas, which we know we're just talking India Superior, or even on their map is Asia. And that's, just take the Mongol history, combine it with the biblical Hebrew history, combine that with the indigenous American history. What do you get, my nigga? What do you get? Man, you get a mind-blasting experience, man. You should be mind-blasted, man, when you combine biblical history, right? 12 tribes, King David, Hosea 3, you will return, Sikawa, directly, and David, your Khan, right? Your priest king. When you take that and then bring that into the indigenous history, the indigenous story, now you blending everything, right, with the Quetzalcoatl tribe, right, with the Dragon Canoe and the Kumse flow, you know what I'm saying? But really just right with the Prester flow, this is China, this is Cathay, which means a pure land. So you take biblical history, bring it right into the indigenous American history, and then you combine it with the Mongol history, man. Ping, ping, pow. It's all happening. Ping, pang. Everything's happening, right? Because now you're in the con flow. Now you knew you was an American, but now you can connect it with the Grand Con and see where they're getting the con title from. That the American, they want to say the American. I'm an American. Ken don't spell C-A-N. C-A-N don't ever sound phonetically Ken. Ken don't ever sound like C-A-N. Right? That's con, my nigga. Whether it's a C or a K or a K-H, C-A-N, can, con. American is American, and if you don't understand the con, then you lost in the scissors. You ain't got that mem sauce. You got a KTC. You got an MHOE. You know what I'm saying? Then you can get that fountain of youth, that mem sauce, that mama. So I'm just saying, my nigga, we got that mem sauce, man, and we in Prester John, installment number 78, man. Turning way up for my niggas, man. We turning way up for my niggas. You should feel real good, my nigga. Because only Hawaii would want us to get, as far as we've got. You know what I'm saying? Only Hawaii would want us to be the ones that are combining these elements. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no master teachers. We ain't got no nobody putting us on, no outside mentors. Nah, my nigga, it's just been what you witness. I ain't even back here reading a bunch of books without you. I wait till I kick it with you and I start reading with you. And Drop Nation, you've been sending drop like this from day one. This is why we're on part 78 of the Prester John investigation. Okay, so let's go. Let's pick it up from here. Encyclopedia Britannica. Just digging on this. Gramosio. But I want to see what he's saying right here, because he's going to give a date. And we just got that King Charles Day, right? Charles V, Charles Quinto. I'm going to pick it up from here. He had also a great reputation for learning before he was 30. Aldous Manetius, the elder, dedicated to him his edition of Quintilian, 1514. A few years later, 1519, Francisco Ardano inscribed to him an edition of Livy. And in 1528, Bernardino Donato did the like with his edition of Macrobius and Censorinus. To Greek and Latin and modern languages, the southern Europe, he is said to have added a knowledge of Oriental tongues. So he's said to have added a knowledge of Oriental tongues. But there is no evidence how far this went unless we accept as such a statement that he was selected in 1530 on account of this accomplishment to investigate the case of one David. Okay. So he's investigating a case of a David directly in 1530. So we're also investigating a David. We're looking through the timelines. We're understanding chronology, these three major chronological time shifts. Anatoly Fomenko got us popping off. So when we see something happening in the 1500s, it could easily be the same as what's happening in the 1200s. Or really what's happening in the 1200s in history could really be 1500 history based on the first major chronological time shift, 333 years, give or take. Then you got another major chronological time shift going back 1,000 years, or specifically 1,054 years, give or take. So something happening in their history, they might have something happening in the 200s, right? Like St. Christopher, the dog-headed. We're going to get back on that. Oh, we got some dog-headed drop, man. It's all happening, man. All right. But they're saying St. Christopher in the 200s. Could easily be Columbus Christopher in the 1500s. Because their third major chronological time shift is about 1800 years. 1,778 years to be exact, but it's also give or take. So that's why you can search and say, oh, there's a Moses the Black in the 300s. What's this got to do with what's happening, in the 600s and 700s in the Forbidden Histories of America by Daniel Lowe, Sylvanus to Texas and Theodorus and, all this flow, Israel the third, Israel the fourth, all these artifacts and Kalalus dated 700s, 600s, 800s, even before that, back to the 200s, all in Arizona with Hebrew artifacts and all this stuff and these bodies on bodies. I mean, it's mind blasting. So once you shift, something 200 years or 300 years and again 1,000 years, and then you do it again for 1,800 years, now you're looking in the BCs for King David. Now you're looking in the BCs. Now you got King David in 700 BC, and all you got to do is add 1,800 years back onto that. And you might start sliding into, around that 1,200 range and that 1,000 year mark, and, something closer to what's really popping off. I mean, it's happening. I mean, this is Scaliger and Batavius, man. This is what they did, right? This is what they call chronology or their timeline, but they invented it right on our head bone. And they have these time shifts, and they keep pushing us back. And you say, why they want to push us back like this? So that you don't connect to it, man. So that it's so far back, it's in the BCs. What do you care about it? You care about King David in the BCs. Man, that's so far-fetched and way, it's not even relevant to 2022. Unless this is as recent as the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. And they're only telling us it's in the BCs. So that we don't understand that we are the direct seeds of Prester John, direct seeds of Queen Khalifa, Queen Sheba, Lady Hannah, Lady Ann Roos, all direct seeds of Lady Mariam, Deborah, and them, all just now popping off. Solomon just now popping off. I'm here to tell you that ancient history ain't so ancient, and that you need to get your mind blown around what you consider an indigenous image. So, all right, you copper color, but what, you just gonna dance around a teepee and around a fire with your bow and arrow? Or did they find you in the kingdom of Kalalus with dragons on your swords, high technologies? Either you're these knights in these armor, Anaga, or you just dancing around a teepee. But remember, they gave you your images. So once you realize you're an indigenous, you're not just a Native American, Managa, you belong to the kingdom of Kalalus. You're an India superior, man. And the king of India superior is the king of all the Indias, all three Indias. And that's why we're looking for the Prester. And somebody else is investigating the Prester. Who else is looking for him in 1530? We're just in the Encyclopedia Britannica. He was selected in 1530 on account of this accomplishment to investigate, search out, seek Con David, right? Investigate the case of one David, a Hebrew. All right, so he's a Hebrew. And he's claiming to be the royal house of Judah. He wished to establish himself at Venice outside of the ghetto. So I can't make this stuff up, man. And you know that this is, what they used to call their Jewish, cities or whatever. In their old Jewish towns, there were ghettos, right? But they're really talking about these Hebrews. And when you realize you're the Hebrew, this is why they're calling you in the ghetto, because you're the same Hebrews that was originally being referred to as these ghettos. All right, so now he's in 1530 popping off, looking for a David who's a Hebrew, who's of the royal house of Judah. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the fine print. He claimed to be not only a great warrior covered with wounds, but great also in the law. Right, so he was keeping the code and in the Kabbalah, which is just the secret teachings, and to have been inspired by God, Hawa, to conduct the dispersed tribes to the Holy Land. Damn, so it sounds like a Moses and a David put into one. And this is the ultimate theory and that we always got, in our mind bones as we surf the wave, is the more you recon who David is as a priest that's been stripped away from, your connection. You know what I'm saying? You thinking, uh, David is not Aaron, and this and this and this, but he is a priest, king. He's anointed directly by Hawa as a course correction so that you can have a Khan and not a king. We're talking about a Khan and code, right? So now this David here is trying to gather the tribes, the dispersed tribes, to the Holy Land and to rebuild the temple. In this view, he had visited Prester John. So where Prester John come from? Huh? I mean, we on the 78th installment of the investigation of Prester John. How does Prester John just pop into this picture? We just been talking David. We just talking David, right? Now we in the Encyclopedia Britannica. We're talking Prester John, man, which means we're talking David. Now he's there to let's go back. He's there to investigate the case of David, who's a Hebrew. And then in fine print it says, in this view he had visited Prester John and the Jews in his kingdom, the Hebrews in his kingdom, because they just said he's a Hebrew, not a Jew. That's a big difference. You're talking about a bloodline, not a belief system or people converting into a system. You're talking about an actual bloodline in Nagaville. Yeah, man. I'm just putting this together, man. Surfing the wave with my Nagas, surfing the wave with Aqua Sonia with some drop from way back in the day. That's what I'm saying. I'm just getting into old emails, man, from years ago. So this investigation never ceases, man. This flow we're in just continues to pay it forward, man. Because my Naga's been dropping that drop. So for my Nagas that's been doing it from the balcony, man, I salute you, man. I appreciate my Nagas. And all my new wave surfers, I appreciate you because you're keeping the energy flowing and you coming in with, brand new ideas, brand new perspective, man. And it's just all happening, So we're all one drop, man. One wave, my Naga. Let's go. This is interesting, right? So this is just out the Encyclopedia Britannica. I remember my days behind the wall on some wing wham. Uh, we had a little library, and it was like these, Jews that were running the library. Like you know, they had it on lock. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's coming in there, they'll put out what they wanted to put out. One day I asked them, like, man, you got anything on Prester John? I said, who? What? We don't know about. We don't know anything about no Prester John. So I got the Encyclopedia Britannica that was in the library. I went right into something like this that was breaking down Prester John and his relationship with King David, him being a Negro, Ethiopian looking man, like they're about to say right here. And they were just blown away. I printed it out, passed it out to all my knocks behind the wall. And we was all blown away because we were already having conversations, but they didn't expect receipts like that right out the prison library. So Hawa has put this in such a way, has magnified Dawi in such a way that it's just more and more validation. As we search for David, we're really validating, true to life Israelite, real Nagaville culture. You know what I'm saying? Beyond just reading it off a page, but this really gives you, validity. You know what I'm saying? Concrete, true to life Naga validity. You know what I'm saying? And not just your royal connection. You know what I'm saying? With all this, but just your direct connection with Hawa, with the Holy Land, with the Promised Land. So you don't even need no other book to validate it. It's right there in the investigation. It's right there embedded in everything they're doing, everything they work for. And if you were this important, if you and your kingdom, being children, daughters and sons of the Prester lineage, of the children of Judah, of the children of Israel, right here in America, if you were that important, then to search for hundreds of years looking for you. Because to them, it was hope for them that they wouldn't just die out. Because they thought that they was just going to, they thought the world was ending in 1666, but you have to look at the millenarians. Columbus was a millenarian. They thought the world was ending in 1666. When they found you, it was like this rebirth. That's why Columbus is their Christ. But so is St. Christopher. Or so is Estebanico. I mean, how many do they have? Focus on the timeline, man. Unless we accept as such a statement that he was selected in 1530. Who's the Roman emperor in 1530? Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, 1500s to 1558. Say it with me, Naga. Naga popping off in 1530. I said this Naga popping off, right? I mean, And here's the thing, right? Just like you've seen this before on the Lima, the Larco Museum in Lima, Peru, that depicts these Inca emperors and subsequent or first European emperors of the Inca, right? So these Europeans, you see how they colored their faces? They were colored and they're melanated, all of them. And then they tried to color some peach into them and color all these people. Get my mug out of here. They tried to color all these people, white. But all these Felipes and Carloses, these are all Nagas, man. These are all Negroes, all right? All these are black people. I can't make this up. First European emperor. So this is what a European looks like right here. This is Charles. This is Charles. I mean, I just gotta get it again, and like it's the first time. I'm not gonna lie. We gotta dissect this information. We've been dropping it, but this gotta hit a little different now as we bring this into the Prester flow. This is just what the world looked like from the Inca or the indigenous Nagas to all the Nagas popping off in Europe and in Asia over there. The Portuguese, the Spanish, they were all melanated that were popping off, that was, making moves, you know what I'm saying? It don't mean other people didn't exist, I'm saying, but the people making, all these royal moves were all melanated. That was just what it was. These are families. You see these people hijacking, these are still original people. These are still original Khans. These Khans still have originality, have an original place, what I'm saying, on this earth plane. You know what I mean? They just had covetous in their heart bone. They wanted your heritage. Lot wasn't exactly happy with his lot. Lot wants everything, right? For Ham and Canaan and Cush and everything else, right? But for Shem, for Jacob, for Hasharah, for the remnant, wipe us off the face of the earth. Psalms 83, Confederacy, that the name of Israel be remembered no more. Yeah, man. It's right there. It's right there. Hijack City. Hijack Charles. Oh, hijack Charles, man. Holy Roman Emperor, right? Okay. And 15th Inca Emperor. So he took over the Inca. So he found what he was looking for, right? He found the Holy Land. He found the Holy City. He found the Promised Land, huh? He found the land of Prester John. Which means he found these other copper-colored cons. Which means he found us. Man, it's on the coin, man. It's not just about a painting. It's documentations. I mean, what? So this blackness that they want us to believe in, these black people and this black unity, Naga, when has it ever been that? You're talking about different seeds, different tribes. It's been tribal war the whole time. It's never been no black unity. That shit don't exist, and it's never existed since biblical times. It's always been tribe on tribe. It's all about who's rocking the code, who's rocking for Nagaville, who's dodging their hijacks and who's not dodging their hijacks, who's choosing up and who ain't choosing up. We was all melanated. We was all popping off. But the code wasn't going through all of us like that. You know what I'm saying? We had covetous. We had false witnesses. We had murderers. We had thieves. We had idolatry. And the only reason why we got caught up with is that we had our own idolatry. So we can't really blame no other tribes. This ain't no pity party. You don't see Drop over here having no pity party. Hey, cheers, man. Yeah, this ain't no pity party. This is a revelation. We don't blame you, Monagas, you know. We blame us, man. We blame ourselves. There ain't no pity party. But in getting that self-healing, after we come into agreement that, okay, we were out of code, then we start looking right at your asses, man. And we start saying, what was y'all looking for? What were you looking for, Charles? Holy Roman Emperor Charles V? 1525, 1530s, right? This is what's happening, man. My naga, this is what's happening. So when we looking at this drive right here, and this is Encyclopedia Britannica. Move my mug again. All right. So something's happening in 1530. Let's not breeze over this situation. You could look deeper into Museo, but we're gonna correlate this with some more encyclopedia drop, and I'm getting into this book drop, man. You know what I'm saying? Putting this fireplace on. I'm just chilling, had a great Shabbat. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Allah, popping off for the whole team. The water for all you do. Continue to support our fence fund so we can build a beautiful fence for Nagaville. Click the link below so we can, pop off. We're getting everything in movement. Building our fence for Joy World. It's a big, 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 big deal. A big, big project. But my 500 code-keeping Nagas, I salute you and I appreciate you. We got a great start. We have a long way to go. Support our GoFundMe, support Nagaville, support Joy World, support us. I appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. Allow because we building a fence because we gotta build a fence, my night. You know what I'm saying? We need separation from these hijacks, claiming to be. So this David, 1530, is a Hebrew from the royal house of Judah. Now, whatever they're saying about establishing himself, We're getting their conjecture, at Venice outside of the ghetto. But in the fine print, as we get into it, he's inspired by Hawa to conduct the dispersed tribes to the Holy Land and to rebuild the temple. In this view, he had visited Prester John and the Hebrews and his kingdom, and then various European countries. David was dark in complexion. Right on your Facebook. Why does this matter? Why do you think? Why does it matter that we understand what these people look like? Our people, their people. Why does it matter, my naga? Tell tell that to these painters that are iconoclastic, painting over the images of these Negro people, melanated Nagas. Tell that to these painters. Why does it matter? They'll be like, I'm getting paid a lot of money to do this. It has to matter. They're blowing noses off the Sphinx. They're doing all this stuff. Why does it matter? So that they can give you a different story about who you are, man. Because if all these people are melanated, do you think they all came from Africa? Do you think that's their story? Yeah, we came from Africa. This is 1500s, man. Pre-brainwash of the nigga, of the Naga. Before a new image was introduced to your mind and the royal was taken out. Now you off a slave ship. Now you off a boat from somewhere in Africa that ain't checking for you, and you'll never know what tribe you connected to, because ain't no tribe looking out asking about you over here saying you my tribe. But we can look over there and say, we think you're us. We think you were taken from here. When I look at the Igbo and the Nigerian flow, when I look at the Cameroon flow and a lot of flows, a lot of our people were taken out of here into Europe and into Africa. And they were fighting tribal wars the whole time because they didn't really belong there. That wasn't their OG spot. It was right here in India Superior. And they were getting that work, you know what I'm saying? Because that was part of the Deuteronomy 28ism. You know what I'm saying? We were out of code. But they remembered us being the head and they didn't like that. So they're like, oh, you ain't the head no more? You're going to get this work. And that's when you got this black on black, tribe on tribe, whether you're talking in Africa or America. There's been Naga on Naga wars the whole time. There ain't no such thing as some super black, unified world of blackness and us coming together with our black dollar. And, man, they selling us on a dream, man. And the truth is, what tribe are you from? And you know that by your frequency. You know what I'm saying? If you are magnetically connected with the code, then most likely you're one of these Hebrew tribes that they just found here, and you've been brought back. You're being magnified and magnetized, like my bro Natural by Law and Five Eyes, what it do. My bro Dizzle, what it do. Yosef, Not Spiral, CJ Battle, what it do, man. Tribal music is telling you this. We making music about this now. We done popped off so much, we inspired an entire new music genre called tribal music, and we now are making music about the awakening, man, about the awareness, man, that's coming through the recon in our personal lives and in real time, man. And don't tell me it don't matter. Look how much effort they put into changing you up. What, you never heard of Iconoclast? Iconoclast. How do you spell it? Yeah. What is iconoclasm? Iconoclasm. What is this, man? So iconoclasm is the act of attacking or asserting, rejecting cherished beliefs. So it's rejecting something, right? And institutions or established values or practices. So it's attacking, it's rejecting anything that's established. Interesting. The rejection or destruction of religious images as heretical, the doctrine of iconoclasm. So they're now destroying any images. Pay attention, because you just said, not you, somebody out there said, why does it matter, Drop, that he was a dark complexioned man? They put so much work into our heads. They've given us movies like Noah with Russell Crowe playing Noah, Charleston, whatever, playing Moses. They put their images on all of us, man. Look at the five heartbeats. They turn them into the five horsemen. For real, man. So you gotta know, you gotta take a certain pride in that. Just because we take pride in that don't mean we trying to shit on somebody else. Let us tribe up and start feeling ourselves again. We've been beat down so long. The minute we start feeling ourselves a little bit, don't feel yourselves over us while y'all feeling yourselves. Because we tribing up, man. Hold up, man. Let me get this bigger. I got something to say, man. As big as I can get. Because we tribing up, man. All right? That's why we feel this way. We want to tribe up with you, but you got to let us tribe up for Nagarville. You got to let us do Nagarville, too. You know what I'm saying? The first step, for us is to feel this frequency, feel our energy again. You know what I'm saying? Take care of our families. Feel good with each other. Vibe up, code up, keep our code. Definitely. 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 Dodge your hijacks, man. DYOH. Hey, man, if you don't remember nothing else, remember that. Get the hijacks out the way. So while we do that, we're going to feel the power of our frequency, of our ancestors, of our power, of Hawa, our Ama Abba, our framer, our shaper, the creator, giving us, just a surge of the mem sauce. We're going to feel this mem sauce again. And that don't mean that we trying to put down nobody. We just going to be real excited because while Hijack City is in a shrinking, state of, it's going through its own demise, we growing and we popping off. And we know that we already won. My bro Natural already told you that we already won, man. Hey, man, I'm about to read this book to y'all in a minute, but I'm going to get some more of this encyclopedia because it's getting good to me. When they talk iconoclasm, they're talking religious images, and especially in Russia, any images that look like you, they call it heretical, and they just burnt them and destroyed them. I got to take this to 1828 if we're going to talk definitions and stuff, we done told you that you were not brought here, copper color races. Why does it matter? Ask them why it matters, man. They're the one putting in more work to switch up the images. We're just telling you that the images were switched up. And we tell you that they were switched up and that we are these images that were destroyed and iconoclasted on. You say, well, what does it matter? Why are you trying to be all these images? Tell them why it matters, man. Ask them that. Because even in the definition of American, they're letting you know it matters. Not so we can shit on nobody, you know what I mean? But so that we can say, oh, this is who we are, not that. That they just found us here, which means they can't tell us who we are. The people they just found, didn't know existed, only read about in the fables, in their mythology books, the Kingdom of Prester, where Queen Khalifa be at, where all the biblical stories were taught and fought and recorded. The land connected with Lemuria and the ancient Mu and the Eva and the Hawas and all that. Hawaii's. All this connected with the ancient lands that's underwater now but will rise again. We didn't come from Africa. We come from the East. And this is the East. It's the furthest East. This is actual and factual. And when they came over here, they knew they found copper-colored people. And these were the Khan. K-A-N-C-A-N. The Grand Khan. The Khan means priest. Ka means priest. But look how they spin the ka. Look what they do to the ka. Officer answering to a governor in Europe, right? So it used to be that you are the Khan. Now you're just answering to a governor in Europe or America. But then they go among the Tartars. Now they're getting back into the real, right? A chief or a prince. And then in Hebrew, it literally means priest, right? So this chief or this prince or this priest is what they're looking for. It's what they're looking for in America. It's the Amaru Khan. This is the prince. This is Prince Forever. This is Ezekiel 37. One shepherd, David, will be Prince Forever. And David is a copper color nugget. Why does it matter? Ask my Aqua Sonia why it matters. David was dark in complexion, like an Abyssinian. Like an Abyssinian. I'll be seeing you. Abyssinian. Get my mug out the way. So, a name denoted a mixed multitude or a black race. Come on, man. Come on, man. So this, all right. So take it, take it how you want. You got Moses with his mixed multitude, right? He got his father-in-law Jethro. Got the Midianites, the Kenites. So we're talking a mixed multitude like that, not just mixed with a white man. Talking about a mixture of tribes. You got, or just this black race, or they're just talking about copper-colored Khans like Americans, are the Abyssinians. Before you, and this predated what? Uh, Etymology. This predated what, my life? There we go. The burning ones, man. We just talking Seraph, man. Are you a burning one? Allow why? We just talking about, this particular conflow. What is this Abyssinian predate, man? Old name for Ethiopia. So anytime you hear an Ethiopian, they're not talking about a place. That came later. They're talking about a dark-skinned people, right? Copper-colored people, black people, anywhere from the east to the west, north and south. That's Ethiopia. That's India. India is synonymous with Ethiopia. All these are generic terms for these vast region of chosen copper-colored people. Don't tell me it don't matter when they're changing the images. Abyssinian, Habasa, right? I'll be seeing you. Abyssinian, Prester John, also called El Presta, Swan, Emperor de los Abyssinios, not of Africa, Ethiopia, but of all these Indians, right? Of all these Nagas in India Superior, the Khan of Khans, of the Rex Negus. So he's the Emperor of Abyssinia. Old name for Ethiopia before Ethiopia was called a region, became a region, way into the 1600s. Prester John's rocking way before that, right? So this denoted something greater. A whole black race, a mixed multitude. Why does it matter? Are we looking for iconoclasts? 1828. An image and a breaker to break. Woo wee. So they went right in on just breaking the image, breaking it all the way down. Oh man. Oh my naga. So when you see this, they're literally breaking the image in your face, bro. So that now you got all the Felipes and Carloses of the world and Louis of the world thinking that they're the original Carloses and Felipes and Louis. Now you got, anybody in the image that they've turned South America into, Central America into. You got more of the, Europeanized image of all these places. You know what I'm saying? And it just ain't the case at all. And these, nobles, whether you're talking on Charles's side or Genghis Khan's side, all their images were broken, whether they break them and turn them into white people or they turn them into Chinese phenotypes, whatever the case is. Even though you're the real Chinese, right? You're the real Kana. You're in China. You're in Cathay. Marco Polo called China Cathay. These are all Cathayans. He's breaking the line right here, but they didn't break his image yet. Now the new Charles V image, I'm sure ain't gonna look nothing like this. You already know that. Ain't no point even looking that up. You look up the new Charles V image, man. It ain't gonna look nothing like this though. Straight up a Negro Naga Khan. Now is he a true Khan or did he take the title as priest? And what does he have to do with Genghis Khan or Batu Khan? They took the title Roman. Is he a real Ramah? Hebrew word of the day? Hmm. Is he a real Ramani? Oh man, I got some dog head drop I can't wait to get into. Just stay tuned, man. I can just stay tuned. Yeah, we talking dog heads, man. He said, "Hey, how y'all start talking dog?" Because we started talking dog heads. I don't remember how and when, but all I know is we started talking dog heads. I know Natural by Law been digging, on them sinus and phthalates, man. Love the Natural by Law. Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about, as you can see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got some Nestor flow up. Nestor plays, obviously, man. These Nestorians, they keep trying to label the priest king a Christian. But if that was the case, then they wouldn't be trying to find us and convert us. So they had to put the Nestorian Christian on it, which just meant that you connected to wisdom or an old counsel, old wise counsel, old king, renowned for wise counsel. They're looking for the Grand Khan. I love this document right here. One of the first ones, we popped off crazy with. Just getting into, what Columbus was looking for. Going into that Biblioteca de Colombina in Sevilla, Spain. Hold up, man. Navigate this joint. There we go. Oh yeah. Let me get it bigger. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of the book or collection of authoritative sayings, opinions, and prophecies concerning the need to recover the holy city and Mount Zion, and the discovery and conversion of the islands of the Indies, man. So let's not be confused. We're going right to the Indies, right? We're going right to India Superior. We're going right to America, the islands, to do what? Convert. But they're still looking for the Prester, calling him a Christian in a Christian kingdom in a Christian land, but you don't convert Christians. I mean, that's against their whole entire flow. And their own credo of Christianity is to steal lands from other Christians. So they can't come over here and steal your land if you're supposed to be some Christian kingdom, Managa. Especially when the Papal Bull says, 1452 Papal Bull Doom Diverses says we're going to subjugate these enemies of Christ. So you're not looking for a Christian kingdom calling these people enemies of Christ. Yeah. You knew that you're dealing with something else. And what they did was paint the picture of a savage or a barbarian, onto these indigenous people, you know what I'm saying? So that they couldn't be the Hebrews, right? They had to be these savages. Then they got here, they had all this stuff they were learning. They saw the marketplaces, they saw all this pristine, you know, everything was clean and beautiful. Everybody dressed in, according to that, was it David? Let me get David Standard. They were walking in, Aztecs dressed in white. They said it's the most beautiful, pristine place. They had towers built right out the water and all this stuff. You don't see these people pulled up in fresh water. They said they pulled up in fresh water. Where else do you pull up in fresh water? The aqueducts are built so geniusly put together. So you didn't pull up to a place of a savage, man. We had to teach you how to play. You looking for our gold. You finding our artifacts. You trying to figure out who we are. You didn't find no savages, man. You put up on a kingdom, and until you motherfuckers admit what you've done to the children of Hawaii, it's gonna be repercussions, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Nagarville's back. We waking up and we see it clearly. This is, 84 folios written and preserved in the Biblioteca Colombina in Sevilla. This is Columbus's own words. Prophecies concerning the need to recover the holy city and Mount Zion, and the discovery and conversion of the islands of the Indies and of all people and nations. Sound just like the Doomed Verses, 1452. For Ferdinand and Isabella, our Spanish rulers. This was compiled by Christopher Columbus himself. He's looking for the holy city. He ain't lost, stumbles on India, call you Indians. He came to India Superior, Jack. Columbus came to India Superior, man. But he's talking Abyssinian. But he's talking Iconoclasm. Put this all together. What does Columbus really look like? What does Genghis Khan really look like? Some art drop up here. Oh yeah. Go in that drop library. You might as well pull up the Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, man, because you know we about to go in. You see all this. I mean, this is my Prester laptop. You know, when it's time to pop off, man, I gotta pull this one out. You know, this got all the drop on it, man. But now you got the drop. You got your Prester packs, Prester Pack 2 getting ready for you, man. With everything else that we are, you know, all the documents we bringing out now, we're gonna keep it going. Put on the Prester Pack 2. Keep the water flowing. Let me pull up this Genghis Khan painting again, because again, you know, we're talking about iconoclasm. These broken or destroyed images, a name Catholics give to those who reject the use of images in religious worship. Whoa, that's even deeper. So even before we're just talking about breaking your image, literally of, you know, your skin tone, this was already something that these Catholics were, a name they gave to those who reject the use of images, just like Awas tell us to do, like no images, right? They called them icons. I'm popping off with you, man. You know what I'm saying? I never thought about it this deep before. So they called them icons. So when you recon like all the Russian icons, and you got all these pictures of these, you know, Nagas, and all their royal biblical flow, you are the original icons in their eyes. You're the icon, right? If you look at an icon now, just the name icon, it's an image or a representation, but you are that image, right? Because you are the image of Hawaii, right? So you are the icon. Are you made in your frame and shaper's image, or are you the image of Hawaii? Are you in the frequency of the Creator? The image is more than just what outwardly see. It's the frequency. It's the signature. You're the signature, Managa, of Hawaii. You're the image, which makes you the icon, right? So this iconoclasm in real time, they're breaking or destroying the image, which is you. So you no longer see you, the last noble image. You're going to see something else that's been already destroyed, already broken. They're not going to give you you. Ahab to all the continents with melanated Nagas, but we from India's period, right? We from these parts connected to lands in these parts. We need to see us, not to worship these images, but to know that we exist. When they take that away, they're taking your existence away, so that the name of what? Israel be remembered no more. Back to Psalms 83. This is what they're doing to break our images. Not, you know, in their idle way, but just so that you don't remember you, so that you can't see you. Why does it matter? Tell Charles this, man. And tell the painters that are iconoclasting, breaking your images. But they called us the icons because we were the ones that didn't use images in our particular flows, in our spiritual flow. So they said those are the icons, but that also connects to being the image. And you are the original. And that's why they're breaking it right in your face. And, what does Genghis Khan look like? Let's pull that up. Let's get it from right here. Why does it matter, right? Genghis Khan depicted as a black man. So instead of this, heavy set, more modern Chinese phenotype or Mongol phenotype, whatever you want to call it, nah, he's a skinny Naga. He's a Negro. Slim. And again, this Negro here is somehow related to the Prester, even if it's not a blood relation. They were related according to the Mongol Wang Kong, which is Prester John. Just remember, Wang means king, like Wan, like Prester Wan. And Mongol would be Wang, Wang. Wan is Wang, right? All this means king, John. Wan becomes John, King John, Prester John. Prester is Khan, so Wang Khan. So whether Genghis Khan is a nephew or a godson, but according to the story, Genghis Khan's father and Prester John were like, they weren't blood brothers, but they rocked together. You know what I'm saying? They fought side by side with each other. So Genghis kind of, was like Prester's little homie, because his dad and Prester had a bond, had like a blood oath. You know what I'm saying? They were bonded like blood brothers. You know what I mean? So here comes Genghis, and he feels this entitlement to, be within this David flow, this Rus flow. You know what I mean? He wanted more. He didn't want to pay tribute to the Khan. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be the Khan. He felt, he deserved to marry into the David line, David family. David wouldn't let him marry his daughters. And he, ended up going to war against the Prester, or King David, in 1202. We don't know if that happened in 1202 or more recent in the 1500s or what this correlates to. But I know it reminds me a lot of this Charlie Kento situation. Charles V. Reminds me a lot of this, So you have a family. It's a family affair. I mean, we know this. It's a family affair. And you got to keep coming back here to see clear. Hawa, keep not your silence, hold not your peace, be not still. Hawa, for your enemies are in an uproar. So who's the enemies? Anybody that's not feeling the code, doing their own thing, right? They got their own idols. They popping off. They that hate you have lifted up their head. All in the family. This is still Shem. This ain't Ham. This is still Shem. Rocking under Abraham, rocking with Lot. You know what I'm saying? So, but they hate you because they're so close to you, that they want what you have. They don't understand why you popping off with the frequency you got directly with the Creator. They're too close to appreciate you like that, right? So they have a covetous, right? These, not the real Remanis, but the Romans, right? Have a covetous to them. So them that hate you have lifted up their head. They hold crafty converse. They've made a crafty counsel against your people. Oh yeah. They made treaties. But it's not until we know that we are Dragon Canoe, that we are Tecumseh, that we say, who's making treaties on these Chickamauga? Then they start backing up like, oh, okay, well, y'all would only know that from an indigenous perspective, but from an African perspective, we wouldn't even be thinking about no Chickamauga. But from an indigenous perspective, we say, who's the Chickamauga? These are the Cherokee that decided not to sign no treaties and fought to the death when everybody else made treaties with Hijack City. Oh, but we black today. We just, black man, we got to work together, black man, to fight against the white man. There would be no white man jamming us up right here if you didn't bring him here. But now we have to create the unthinkable. We have to create and invent something that's never, ever, ever happened. We have to unite all black people. All melanated tribes must unite to fight against white people. Well, that's the game they want you to play. But behind the scenes, it's still looking like you, and it's still looking like me. Because ain't been no power change. Ain't been no new power switcheroo since 1492. It still looks like this. I mean, that's our theory, you know. Yeah. But you need an indigenous perspective. You need the Mongol history. Because then that's going to bring in Genghis Khan, right? And in the earlier painting, all these were melanated people. So this definitely got iconoclast. Batu Khan was melanated. And this is supposed to be a Rus, right? And you know what the Rus is hitting for. You know what the Rus is hitting for, right? So when they say this man's a Rus, and you see the crest, and no matter what crest you're looking at, you're going to see a melanated Naga on top who's a red, ruddy Naga, the same red, ruddy Naga as you are, my Naga. The same red, ruddy Naga as the Prester. It's the same red, ruddy Naga that they looking for in the Lost Tribes of Israel identity. Lost Tribes of Israel, my Naga. These are the roots. When we talk Russia, all this is connected. It's all the same land. Even when you look at it from, here's my Prester map. Where's my British Museum Prester map? Hey, get your map pack. Get your Prester packs, your ether packs. You got the drop. I mean, I want to make sure all my knockers had the drop. So whether they wipe this clean or wipe whatever clean, you got the pack. So we live on because you got all the drop. Like we always gonna be popping off because the copy. Everyone got a copy of everything. I don't hold no extra information. I'm not holding some private information. Whatever I can get out, we put in our drop libraries. But Aqua type at Zan, the record keeper. And we keep the water flowing for my nuggets, man. You know what I mean? So just know it's all happening straight up, man. Yeah, man, this is a body bag for the illusion. Body bag, outline copy of the MS map in the British Museum, right? Showing connections between Marco Polo's Asia, right, and the new lands. And this date keeps popping up, just like the Encyclopedia Britannica, 1530. Right in the midst of King Charles V, right? You know who's ruling the world, who's the Roman emperor. You see America, you see no North America. Doesn't exist. You do see India superior. And next to that, Prester John. This is the Bering Strait, or what the Strait of Anion would be. Anion. We're going to get back into the Hanons and Anons and Anam and Davids and all that connection. Just know you're in the Prester flow. You see Cathay, which is the original China. You know what I'm saying? And the other ones actually have La China on them as well. I mean, it's all happening. So this land bridge connects this land bridge. They're not two separate land bridges. It's all connected, especially under the water. This Asia is still this Asia. All this is Asia. This is not a separate Asia. This is all Asia. Russia would be where? All this would be Russia today, right? Russia is Rus, the land of Rus, Asia, which connects directly to the land of Prester John. But we call it North America today. California here, crossing over. I mean, you see how it all connects. You know what I'm saying? So when you see, here in Asia, even Europe over here, all this, you see why the Davidic line, the kingdom, the Hebrews, the vortexes, everything, it's all connected. It's not like some black Europeans popping off with some royalty. All this is Asia. All this is India superior, especially over here. You know what I'm saying? And you're dealing with these tribes that's connected with the Prester. If you don't see it through the Prester eyes, the Prester flow, you're seeing it through, so-called scholars or, whatever the author is that you want to kick. But these so-called black Europeans are connected to tribes, whether they're connected to Hebrew tribes or Moabite tribes or whatever tribes. You got to break it down to tribal, and it's case by case. It's not one thing matches everything. One black European house does not speak for another black European house. You got to get to the skinny of it all. No fat. And the skinny of it all connects. You're talking about a melanated world popping off. And when you talk about Russia, now the beauty of this Russia is that it not only connects with the Russia, but it also connects right in the heart of Scotland, right? All the Braveheart flow, and then they give us Mel Gibson and all this stuff. All this is still you, my nigga. All this is still Lost Tribes of Israel. Identity. And of course, you got the Princess Scotia and all that flow, but, hey, we'll get back into that Lady Anne Roos. I'm still talking about Charlesy, man. So this 1500s plays, whether we're looking on the map, we're talking Asia over there, we're talking Asia over here. They are confederate against your treasure ones. They've taken counsel against your treasured ones. Other translations say your hidden ones, letting you know that you are hidden. Where? India superior. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. Now we're searching for Prester John. They already knew. Anaga, they already knew. They just know that we, once we get on the wave, it's over. It's game over, man. The gig is up. It's not, it's not about one person you can stop to stop the wave. You can't stop this wave. Our Mashiach flow is collective. You know what I'm saying? We're a collective Mashiach. It's not just one person popping off in one thing and boom, boom, boom. We are, bringing in, what I'm saying, our time, our salvation through the code, through our frequency, through putting the Most High over everything. You know what I'm saying? But they try to make sure the name of Israel, Yasharah, Hasharah, would no longer be no more in remembrance. So this seems so foreign to us. The promised land. Keeping the code, the Shabbat, everything seems foreign because it's no more in remembrance. It's not just the name, it's your culture, who you are, your language. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are united, but they're trying to they believe in unity. They believe in being unified with themselves. And then they try to sell us on some black pride, black unity, black situation, bliggity black. This black race of people that need to be unified against the white race of people. And now you get into that old Tahuti Thoth duality situation where they're creating duality. They're creating opposites. And remember, The creation of opposites is the conscientio that slays the alchemical dragon. Love to Aqua. Fireball. Miss D in the copper color. That black drago, man. Yeah, alchemical serpent. It's not the dragon, right? Unknown bursting into consciousness. It's not, the unknown substance, the mysterious dragon. This is what they're trying to figure out you for. This is what they're trying to figure out Nagaville. But they wanted to cut us off from being a nation. By the creation of our opposites, they have, for a time, slayed the dragon. Now they got us arguing with, our opposites, or what they will call the white establishment, when behind the whole thing is still a nigga. Still a nigga. Remember, Drop told you this, man. Still a nigga. They sitting back while the white people is now a straw man, and it ain't like, it ain't like they're not our enemy in the sense of those who, did the conquering and all that and participated in it. But the enemy, there's levels to this enemy shit. It ain't about excusing the hijack whites that did what they did. It's about bringing the proper accusation. And we got to bring it home. And that's the part that hurts our heartbone, because we want to believe in this black unity. We love that. We love the idea of unity more than anybody else. We accept everybody because we want to be unified so bad. So don't tell us about unity. Make it seem like we just want to, you just want to separate. No, we the most unified people, but if we don't unify around the code, around ourselves, everything is doomed. This is what we mean by tribing up. And anybody tribing up with the tribe got to be for the unity of the tribe, which is our code that we keep. But it didn't exist. There ain't no black unity without a code. And there ain't no time in history that all black people were united within the code. And I mean black people. All copper-colored Khans were in code. All families of tribes outside of Israel were all in code. If they weren't in code, there was no such thing as unity. Because if you're not putting Hawa first, there ain't no life. You have your kingdom. You might be raised as a Gentile above the children of Israel for a time, just as Hawa disciplines his children. But there ain't no future in that. You had a little kingdom. That's all you had. You found some gold. You found some stuff. That's all you did, Charles. And what did it bring you, man? It brought you right here to this moment, Charles. Charles, I'm talking to you right now, man. Because I know you probably got a piece of the fountain of youth somewhere. You're probably still out here existing. Hey, look here, Charles, man. You're probably still here, man. Oh, man. Hey, look here, man. You got some trinkets, man, but you didn't get forever. You never really, truly got everything. You got pieces, and you damn sure will never be the Prester. The Prester's forever. You can't be forever, Charles, but you did your best. And now I guess the chicken's coming home to roost, or whatever they say, Nagaville's popping off, man. And we're doing it for Hawaii, Most High, over everything. Let's keep going. Having too much fun. We just dug on this Encyclopedia flow. We got into Iconoclasm because, it's talking about David being dark in complexion, like an Abyssinian, right? Now we get it. We're talking what? Like one of these mixed multitude, Moshe Dawi flows, you know what I'm saying? Lean, dry, and Arab-like. So he wasn't he was dark, but he wasn't African-like. He was Arab-like. I mean, make this stuff make sense, right? He's dark, but not an Arab, but he's Arab-like. You know what that reminds me of, man? You know what that reminds me of, man? When they do the Andrews like this and they say, Saracen's head, the word Saracen was used in the early centuries of the Roman Empire, describing an Arab tribe. So it's Arab-like. They keep trying to throw this Arab flow because we're talking Moors, man, more and more, right? So, yeah, they're saying they're Moors, but they're a different type of Moor. Like, they might be the actual greats, right? We might be talking about the actual tribes of Israel. And you don't get no more great than being direct connection with the creator of this earth, man. That's the most great you can be. And that's when you're keeping the code. Because you know that wisdom is the conqueror of fortune, but you got to describe what fortune is for you. Is it having some gold in the kingdom, or is it having forever and true shalom with Hawa? That's fortune. And it's fortune having your children around you that are Baruch and safety. That's fortune for me. My children, that's fortune. Lahawa. Everything else is vanity. Yeah, we want to be comfortable. We want all that. But is it the money you want, or is it the security you want? And if it's truly the security, then will the money ever really, truly, get you that? You can have a mansion and have nothing. You can have a mansion and just be a target. You can have a mansion and, all that. It's not the mansion you want. It's the security, whether you're in a big house or a small house, man. And this house right here is built with Amah, because that's our fortune. Mama said, "You find me, you find life." You are the you are the Sarah's sons, right? Abraham and Sarah. You are Sarah's sons, but are you the Arab, or are you what they say, Arab-like? Yeah, David was dark in complexion, like an Abyssinian, lean, dry, and Arab-like, well-dressed, well-attended, full of pretensions to supernatural Kabbalistic knowledge. Something supernatural going on with this Dawi in 1530, and with enthusiastic ideas about his mission, while the Jews or the Hebrews regarded him as a Messiah, as a veritable Messiah, a messenger, a Hamashiach, like it's saying Hosea 3 or Jeremiah 30, David whom I will raise up, right? Hamashiach flow. And all we know is that they cut us off from being a nation. So the name of Israel is remembered no more. No more. They have consulted together with one consent against you. Do they make a covenant against you, my nine? Talking Edom, we're talking Ishmael, we're talking Moab, right? We're talking all of them. All of them. And that's who's behind this, man. To this day. Whom I will raise up. Wow, wow. Hey, every time we search for the priest king, we gotta be relaxed, we gotta be patient, we gotta pop off, man, because, so much is coming out and it's like, how do we not see it 10 years ago? And that lets us know, it gives us the confirmation as a that we're being revealed on, breathed on, we're getting more breath, and we're doing it together. And we talk Dawi, whether we're talking 1500s, 1200s, Presters, Jeremiah 9, but they shall serve Hawa their power, and David their king. This is a prophet speaking, right? David, their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Yeah, why does it matter? Why are we searching? Why are we searching, man? Why does it tell us to search? I mean, you know, I don't know why you're searching, but I do know why Hawa is telling us to search. I mean, this is a powerful piece. Because you going to return, the children of Israel will sit solitary many days without a king, without a Prester, without a prince, without a Khan. But Israel will return, seek the Creator, their power, and David, their king, again, right? Just like Jeremiah 30, shall come trembling to Hawa. Who? The Creator only. And his goodness in the end of days, he comes searching for Hawa and David. Why is Hawa telling us this, man? It must be a connection Hawa has with David necessary to activate the next wave, you know. We're talking life. We're talking that mem sauce, that water, that fountain, that flow. It gets no realer than this. This investigation brings it all together for us, you know. Brings the home team live in full effect. Opens our eyes again, lets us see clearly. And here we are, my Naga, here we are. I'm going to get back in this Sonya drop. I mean, I got some job to read. We popping off, man. I'm just having too much fun with these encyclopedias right now. More fun than I thought I was going to have. So, okay, we just talked about this for the moose. So, let's get this one here. Yeah. Let's get it from here, man. Okay. So this one here got all kinds of drop. I mean, it goes right into Prester John, and we're going to kind of, we got that. We got to get this in segments, man. This might really end up being a 100-part series for sure. Because it's hard to just breeze over some of this stuff. But we're going to get some of this one in the Encyclopedia. Let's see, it was another one. There we go. Let's just check it from here. This is the one that goes before. Yeah, this goes before that one. So let's pick it up something from here. Let's see what we can get, man. Rocking with my sister Sonya. 100. Encyclopedia Britannica. So Prester John, a fabled medieval Christian monarch. Here we go. Monarch of Asia. We know where Asia is. Let's go. The history of Prester John, no doubt, originally gathered round some nucleus of fact. So there is a nucleus of fact that they're admitting in the Encyclopedia Britannica. So we can't be too far off, too far wrong. They're even admitting that it's a nucleus of fact. There's whatever, they want to put fictional around it, but the more you dig on it, there is a foundation. There is a fact in there. It's not some made-up myth. There's something real about this Naga Khan, right, that they're looking for. Though what that was is extremely difficult to determine. So they're on an investigation just like us, man. But the name and the figure which it suggests occupied so predominant a place in the mind of Europe for 2 or 3 centuries, right? Europe, who's the European? Oh, Charles, let's go. This is why we got all that, so we know what a European look like. You see all the iconoclasm going on. Surfed away, this Prester John 78, surfed away and whatnot. All right. So 2 or 3 centuries at least. Prester John is on their mind bone for hundreds of years because of the kingdom, because of the holy city Columbus is looking for. Whoa, all right, so for 2 or 3 centuries, that a real history could hardly have stronger claim to exposition. So there's a strong claim. Since before Prester John appears upon the scene, we find the way prepared for his appearance by a kindred fable, which intertwines itself with the legends about him. This is the story of the appearance at Rome in 1122 in the pontificate of Calixtus II of a certain Oriental ecclesiastic who one account styles John, the patriarch of the Indians, man. And now Nagas claiming to be Indians today don't understand that they got a patriarch, an ancestor, a Negus, who's not just a Negus, but he's the Rex Negus. He's the priest king of you, the Indians. We ain't talking Africa, man. We're talking Indians, period. Where they just found you, the American, right? The priest king, and another an archbishop of India. India what? Which India? The ecclesiastical related wonderful stories of the shrine of St. Thomas in India. Again, Thomas keep popping up. And of the miracles wrought there by the body of the apostle, including, let's get it from up here. Told you this is getting good. Because no matter if we're looking at Mongol history, we're looking at this old, Christian, Muslim war, Holy City War, all this stuff happening, European history or American history, it keeps crossing that King David. It keeps crossing that Prester John. The distribution of sacramental water by his hand. He got that water. We just said the mem sauce. He got the fountain. Who cannot regard the appearance at Rome of the personage who related these marvels in presence of the Pope as a mere popular fiction. It rests on 2 authorities apparently independent, one of them a letter of Otto of Reims, abbot of Saint Remy, from 1118 to 1151, for their discrepancies show that one was not copied from another, though in the principal facts they are. Nearly a quarter of the century later, Prester John appears upon the scene in the character of a Christian conqueror and potentate who combine the characters of priest and king. So it's like Moses combines with David, and then you get this super pop offness in a sense. This is why we keep looping over this particular question with this David and this Moshe similarity. Again, David is a priest, not just a king. Moses is not just a, priest or prophet, you know what I'm saying? But he's also a king in the book of Yashar. He's the king of Kush for 40 years, man. On the front lines fighting wars for the Kushites before being thrown in a dungeon for 10 years. He gets out when he's about 70 something, and then he goes and saves Israel. Then he goes and frees the children of Israel in the book of Jasher, man. Go get that, man. So Moses is a king. He got a sword. He's on the front lines, just like David. It's a lot of connections, man. So it seems like they both combine, and you got this methodological super, situation. And you got this Prester flow. Priest and king ruled over vast dominions in the Far East. They flip our map. We think we in the West, but we in the Far Orient, my nigga. We in the Far East. This idea was universal in Europe from about the middle of the 12th century to the end of the 13th or beginning of the 14th. So this Naga king, I can't make this up. It was universal in Europe that he's a priest, king. He has this great super kingdom, and he's putting in work against them Turks and against them Persians and against anybody else, man. He's a Rex Negus. You talking Dawi, and this is in their books. They're looking for him, and they finally find you, and they put you in captivity from your homeland. So the Asiatic story then died away, but the name remained, and the Roman presbyter was now assigned a locus in Ethiopia. Indeed, it is not improbable that from a very early date, the title was assigned to the Abyssinian king, though for the time this identification was overshadowed by the prevalence of the Asiatic legend. I'm going to keep mentioning this Asiatic legend. You come right back home. You ask them one fundamental question. You say, Managa, does the continent of North America exist? Or are we just talking Asia? And here we go again with this 1530s popping up. Something happened in the 1530s because we keep seeing these 1530s maps and, you know, situations. They looking for David in 1530, and here we go. Here we go. Cathay, Mansi. You don't see no North America, man. In 1531. You don't see no North America, man. In 1740, the cartas de lux o les diferentes lugares de penduli. You don't see, you see Grand Tartary, man. 1561. Anaga, you don't see no North America, man. This is when King Charles is popping off, right? This is when he's looking, right? This is when he's looking, right? The Holy Roman Emperor, man. You saying at the same time in the British Museum, they have it looking like this with the Prester right here in the middle, and which should be North America. But you don't see no North America. You saying they just had it wrong and they just figured it out later? Or did they hijack the map? Give us different images of the Khans, like Genghis. Okay. Okay. David was dark in complexion. He is Prester John, right? Prester John, David, Prester John, David. Why does it matter, Drop? You ask them why it matters, man. Asiatic legend, we know where Asia is, right? So we're talking about, again, India superior. At the bottom of the double allocation, there was no doubt that confusion of Ethiopia with India, we just said that these are synonymous. They get confused all the time because it's the same vague terminology, like Rudolph Sanders says in The Lost Tribes of Promised Lands, that these are vague titles of dark-skinned people on the east and the west. They didn't denote a location. India did not denote a particular location, nor did Ethiopia, nor did Abyssinia, which is as old as Virgil and perhaps older. The first mention of Prester John occurs in the Chronicle of Otto, Bishop of Friesland. And we got some of that before, you know what I mean? He had made war against the brother of the kings of the Persians and the Medes. So he was over there giving them work. Captured Ecbatana. He's on the front line. He's popping off. Then they put him into this New Testament gospel story, right? Now he becomes one of the three magi, this Ethiopian who's now bowing down to baby JC, Now they just going crazy. Now you got a son of David instead of David himself, whom I will raise up, right? I mean, right here, David, whom I will raise up unto them. We're talking end of days, just like we're talking end of days in Hosea 3. And these same tribes are being cut off from being a nation. I mean, we keep having to get it because once the children of Israel return, seek the Creator, and they start searching for Yahweh, it's happening in the end of days. This is when you're popping off right now. And all their search was for nothing. Because it ain't going to amount to nothing by the time they get that work from the Creator for what they've done. We just popping off. So he's the Magi mentioned in the gospel to rule the same nations that they ruled and to have such wealth that he should use a scepter of solid emerald. Come on, man. Hey, all praise to why. All praise to why, man. Emerald scepter. We're talking Prester John. And they say he's not a Christian, but an historian, right? We say we're going to talk an historian. And then they bring us to he ruled, and to have such wealth that he should use a scepter of solid emerald. So let's bring these things together before they get into their JCIJ. That the Prester, who dwelt in the extreme Orient, beyond Persia and Armenia, and was with his people a Christian but an historian. So he's being converted. He's not a Christian. They're trying to convert him, right? And his people like they did when they got here, right? And they're missionaries. But he's an historian. And he also has a scepter of solid emerald. So just keep this in mind. He's an historian. And he has a scepter of solid emerald. I mean, if you've been surfing the wave with tribal music, man, you know, you've been popping off with the real ones. We appreciate you. You know, we appreciate all your pop offness, you know, all your comments, you know, everything that you're allowing us to, you know, enjoy and dig on in real time, Anaga. You know what I mean? And, you know, just show us that you're ready for that flow, you know. Kind of like David had his harp or his lyre, you know what I'm saying? This is our harp, this is our lyre. Tribal music, man. We popping off, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got the frequency. And we're here to let you know that the tribe, you know, our vibe has returned. You know, we can speak on it. We can enjoy it. Hey, hi to my bro Natural by Law. This 12 Tribes track. Just, you know, keep that scepter in mind, man. You know, I'm gonna fall back. Just keep the scepter in mind as we popping off in real time, man. My mind free with these cheat codes. Five Eyes Mob. My mind breathe with the ether flows. I wonder what hour I'ma know. Hebrew and hell to the frontal lobe. See I leaves and I'm never alone. Dirty this realm and I make it home. All these elements that make me grown. From the lost tribe you can tell my tone. I got the lost cities of gold on my bed. I can afford everything they lack. I'm over their head with my Prester fat. They hate me cause I know they pass. but they need me, that's why they at. Want me to believe them, but I'm heart attack. Think I need them, but my heart detached. Think I'm gone, but my mind is back. Melanated, yeah, I got that from the root. Flow strong like I'm dragging my canoe. Separated from the root. Chickamauga got a naga in pursuit. Lost tribes got me lacing up the roots. They laced us from the roots. Before the Naga lace was roots, before Naga even knew to learn the truth. We was rocking Kente cool. Call me Toby and I'll bust this 32. And it ain't magic, but you pinning telling out your boots. What's the news? Ain't no rules in love and war. Somebody lose. David Chickamauga had to lose canoe. And they lost the Kunse too. And he just wanted 12 tribes to realize that united we see the fear devil now. You know how it goes. I'm tired of moving my clothes to keep it solid. It's stand on 10 toes, and they know we keep it cold. Keep it cold. Everywhere we go, drip drop when we hop up on the flow, and you know how it goes. Yeah, you know how it goes. I get this 12 tribes, and we just said that Prester had an emerald scepter, and it just reminded me of this 12 tribes and this chart. You know, the breastplate of Aaron, and representing Judah is this emerald. And I never put this together, you know, but just more validation that when we talk Prester and this emerald scepter, even in the book of Jashir, it's like a sapphire or something like that. You know, but all this is connected, you know what I'm saying, with these tribes, you know what I mean? Specifically the emerald with Judah, the emerald scepter. Natural by law, take the wheel. I'm tied down with my bros to keep it solid. It's standing 10 toes, and they know we keep it cold. Shit is everywhere we go. Drip drop when we hop up on the flow. Crystallizing snow, hypnotizing meditation with the glow. Mystifying, I'm displaying my control. Energetic geometrics, no synthetics coming from the cosmos. Firmament, ain't no moving past go. That's pop up. And my naga, there's no secret to the saga. Bridges reaching from the top of the ether. Many beneficial to the clouds rolling deep with my Shabbat. Where they're bleeding, there are modest to the speaker. Saying ain't easy, why time goes. Yeah. On their knees, why time froze. Yeah. Picking up dimes, why they find more. Yeah. Selling they soul, why they lie more. I deal soul like a corner store. Culture drugs like an extension cord. Need a detox like a trapper cord. Your flow GMO, I follow. You know how it goes. I'm tied down with my bros to keep it solid. It's a stand on 10 toes. And you know we keep it cold. Shit that's everywhere we go. Drip drop when we hop up on the flow. And you know how it goes. I'm tied down with my bros to keep it solid. It's a stand on 10 toes. And you know we keep it cold. Keep it cold. Shit that's everywhere we go. Drip drop when we hop up on the flow. And you know how it goes. Hey, man. That emerald scepter, though, right? That emerald scepter. So we talking about this Prester John have such wealth that he used a scepter of solid emerald. And then you telling me we can connect the emerald directly with Judah back to the King David flow, just like that. Just by the emerald alone, giving us validation. We talking Judah. And what's it say in the book of Genesis? That the scepter will never depart from Judah. So that was the whole thing. That Judah will no longer vex his brothers, vex Ephraim, you know what I'm saying, with that scepter. And that Ephraim will no longer be jealous, you know what I'm saying, of his brother Judah, you know what I mean? And the scepter that is forever, because the scepter never departs from Judah. And once you get that, then you see why Jeremiah 30 saying, whom I will raise up, in Ezekiel 37, 34, chapter 37 and chapter 34 saying, one shepherd forever, prince forever, David. Hosea 3 saying, search for a while in David. And it goes on, because the scepter never departs. We're just talking about an emerald scepter. Scepter of Solid Emerald, and they also called him a what? He a Christian, but he an historian Christian. He an historian, right? Where's our Nestor drop? As we make this dismount into this book, I ain't gonna get as much as I wanted to with it, but I'm a belly flop. I'm a belly flop. Yeah. As you can see, I'm in full pop off mode. Tribe, I always know when I'm in pop off mode. Like, damn, Tribe, I can tell you over there really popping off, man. Let me tell you, man, praise the why we really popping off, man. No play. Let me see my Nestor drop, man. Oh man. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. We got. It's gonna be the coldest dismount of all time, man. It's gonna be the best dismount of all time, man. Hold up, man. Let me get it from here. Cause they want to call him an historian, right? Okay, here we go. They want to talk Nestor. They want to say he's not a Christian. He's an historian Christian. And when you dig on, the minute you start talking Nestor, you start talking about wise, wisdom, and this oldest, wisest situation. So they're not talking about Christianity as they know it or we know it. They're talking about a time before that include these magi, these wise kings, wise queens, oldest and wisest of the Greeks in the Trojan War. Then you keep going, a wise old man or a sage. So he's not just a Christian, he's a wise old man, right? He's a sage, old king renowned for wise counsel. So you're not just a Christian, but you're connected to a wise counsel, an old king renowned for wise counsel. Now you're starting to get into a Prester flow, a priest king flow when you bring in Nestor, because you're connecting the old king, king forever, renowned for his wisdom, for his connection with Ama, the breath he's breathing, the wisdom he's popping off with. You know, it's always interesting when they, dig on these Psalms. And remember this, we got this Psalms 110 before, and if I read it straight up, even in this Tanakh 1917, this is where they try to go to say, that King David is calling on JC or calling him Lord, right? So it says, Hawah says unto my Lord, right? So who's the Lord? Who's this Lord, right? Sit thou at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. So we know that Hawah hears David in Psalm 18 already, with smoke out of his nostrils, fire out of his mouth, making David's enemies his footstool. Period. Hawah don't ride for JC like that in the New Testament. JC don't go to war in the New Testament. He never fights. He never has a fight, right? So Hawah coming and making enemies footstools and fighting in battles. New Testament, JC don't know nothing about this. That's turn the other cheek. That's turn the other cheek, JC. This frontline soldier, King David, he knows the Creator directly like this. They're together at war. You know what I'm saying? So this would make sense as a Psalm of David, for David to be referring to himself as the one that's sitting at the right hand. But the Christianites, the Hebrews that are still Christians, or the Christian, they see this and they say, no, see, David, Psalm of David is saying, even King David is saying, Hawah said unto my Lord. My Lord must mean Christ. Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies thy footstool. In thy rod of your strength, the Lord will send out of Zion, rule thou in the midst of your enemies. Thy people offer themselves willingly in the day of your warfare. How could he be talking about JC? He ain't got no warfare. Not one war. No armies can vouch for this for this jabroni, man. In adornments of holiness from the womb of the dawn, thine is the dew of your youth. Awad had sworn and would not repent. Thou art a priest. Forever. Remember, Hawa said unto my Lord, who's that? After the manner of Melchizedek, priest forever. Melchi, Melchi, king. Zodek, priest. Priest king is Melchizedek. Prester John, after the order of the Prester. You see it clearly? Hawa at your right hand does crush kings in the day of his wrath. He will judge among the nations, fill it with the dead bodies, crush their head over the wide land. This ain't no turn the other cheek, naga. This is Kandawi. He will drink of the brook in the way, therefore will he lift up the head. The real head's being lifted up. So this says, Hawa says unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand. They want to make this JC and King David calling on JC. King David calls Yahweh Lord. That's what they want to say. Until you get into this Targum script and you get that Psalms 10 in the Targum and it says what? Composed by David. What? Hawa said, here's everything they left out in their translation. Check this out. Hawa said, in his decree to make me Lord of all Israel. Who's that? Did David not get personally anointed and lifted up by the Creator as Lord of all Israel? And did JC? And he said to me, wait still for Saul of the tribe of Benjamin to die. So now we know we're talking King David, who didn't want Saul to die. But Hawa's telling him to wait still until he has to get that work as recompense for what he's done. Wait still for Saul, the tribe of Benjamin, to die, for one reign must not encroach upon another. Your reign comes after Saul. Fall back. That's why he's saying, sit at my right hand while I make your enemies your footstool. He's talking about David coming into reign over Saul. For one reign must not encroach upon another, and afterwards I will make your enemies a prop for your feet. We're not talking JC. JC has nothing to do with this. And these are other Targum translations. Hawa spoke by his decree to give me the dominion in exchange for sitting in study of Torah. Wait at my right hand. Hawa's telling David as a decree to give him dominion in exchange for sitting in study of Torah, of the code. We're talking a priest, king. Wait at my right hand until I make your enemies a prop for your feet. Hawa said in his decree to appoint me ruler over Israel, but Hawa said to me, wait for Saul of the tribe of Benjamin to pass away from the world. Afterwards you will inherit the kingship, and I will make your enemies a prop for your feet. And they seriously, these Christians, these Christolites, seriously use this to try to squeeze JC in here. Because it says in this translation, the Lord said unto my Lord. Hawa said in his decree to make me Lord of all Israel. Then they translate that, the Lord said unto my Lord. Hawa said in his decree to make me Khan of Khans, Lord of all Israel. Wait still for Saul to pass away from this world. One reign must not encroach upon another reign. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make you your enemies your footstool. That's how they put Christ in here and said, King David's calling on Christ as Lord. Wait still for Saul. Saul gotta die for JC to reign. Does Saul gotta die for Yahweh Shai to reign? Does Saul gotta die for Yahweh Shai to reign? And if not, then they ain't talking about you. They ain't talking about no hijack. We're talking Dawi. Because Dawi, and you will rule in the midst of your enemies. That's what Dawi was popping off with way back to Psalms 18. Khan of Khan, Jeremiah 30, I will raise him unto you. Hosea 3, search for Hawa and Khan David. And this is why we're on part 78, my naga, of the Prester John investigation. Sit at my right hand. This is who's at the right hand popping off. Straight up. Hawa told him to sit at my right hand, even in the janky translation. Sit at my right hand. Who's at the right hand? Of Amma Abba. Who's at the right hand of Amma Abba? Hawa. Who's at the right hand? Popping off. Uh-oh. I'm just telling you how important this investigation is to us. When they start talking Nestors, we're talking old king renowned for wise counsel. I told you it's going to be the greatest dismount of all time. And they try to bring us a new image of the Khan. But even Genghis look like you. "775 A.D. Nehemiah Theodoric reconquered the American Empire." Kalelus. What? The American Empire? Yeah. Because this is an empire, which is why you see Prester John right in the middle of it. India superior. Ain't no North America. Ain't no North America. Kalelus was ruled by Solomon, King Solomon, also known as Sylvanus Toltec, the Toltecs, Taxes. Shout out to my Toltecs, greatest dismount of all time. Let's go. Hereditary ruler. So this was a heritage they found here in America. You can't genealogy your way into an empire, man, to prove you from somewhere. It don't work. What place did you have? What role did you and your people have in the Prester flow and the empire in America before you think your genealogy connects you to a kingdom? That's hijack city. Only a hijack needs paperwork to try to, be somewhere. You need to know who you are. You need to keep the code. Kalelus was founded in the 1st century BC by Babylonian exarch known as Sylvanus Ogam or Sylvanus Brabo. And we say that if this predates Solomon the Builder, and this is King Solomon, then this can easily be fitting a King David title. Also, like Solomon is a title, Sylvanus is a title. This is all Shaloma. Shaloma is Solomon, is Shalom, is Shalom, is Solomon. All these are titles. So David is also a Shalomon, a, a, a peace bringer, you know what I'm saying? A Shalom bringer, you know what I mean? Then you got Solomon II, Babylonian exarch, right? These are during this Babylonian captivity, but they're not Babylonian. They're just in Babylon, and they're the exarchs who's leader of all the Jews or the Hebrews. Now we're talking 765 in America. Prester John said he took 6 baths in the Fountain of Youth in 1165. He already took 6 baths, easily bringing them to the same timeline. Hopefully we get to talk some chronology too for the dismount, man. You got this Sylvanus popping off. He's the ruler of Sumer. Are we talking Sumeria? Ancient history ain't what you think. Ancestor of the Swan Knights. Now we're talking, The predecessors of the Templars, also called the Barber HaKatzim. The Barber is the Swan, Manage. He also had a fleet of trading vessels known as the ships of Solomon. This is in 8th century America, right? Or India Superior. So Solomon's ships were the Swan boats, shaped like a swan with its sail like the wings of a beautiful gliding white swan. After the defeat of Sylvanus Texas, the member of the Royals, right? That's what we're talking about. They were sent to Europe where they were under the protection of Nehemiah Theodorus. Right? Theodorus is also Machir. His father is also a Machir. His father, Machir Theodorus. Machir is also being equated to Mixcoatl of the Toltecs. And we're about to talk Olmec. So there's a indigenous Mixcoatl Toltec flow going on. And this appears to be a family war, David on David, David Exarch on David Exarch situation. Same thing in the scripture. You got the kingdom divided with David. He got to fight his own son Absalom. It's a David on David war. You got Israelites on northern tribe, southern tribe wars. This appears to be one happening right in real time, man. Right in the flesh, right in America, right in the old world, where all the biblical history is coming out of. And just skipping ahead to here, it says the legends of Ogier the Dane and Dune de Maines also refer to Tuatha de Danann, Danann or Danun, also known as Mananan, where they get the word Maine. Now they have a Maine on the East Coast, right? Just like they have Rhode Islands on the East Coast, but we're just talking about the Rodhanites or the Rodons. And this is a whole kingdom in Arizona in the Four Corners, not the East Coast, so-called, right? So all this is happening right there where they got this Prester on the map in the British Museum in 1530, man. Okay, Prester John, where America is. Connecting all this with these Olmec, these Mananan or Maine of America, where the giant ogre heads of the Olmec are found. And David Lowe took this part out the book. It stops, like the period stops up here. This whole sentence is gone. We had to find this in a separate link because he didn't really, he was told to take it out. Something happened. They didn't want to link this to the Olmec because when we talk Sylvanus Toltec, and now we got a face to put on it with the Olmec. Now we're just talking Olmec. And once you talk Olmec, you see what time it is, why they're pulling these heads out of America, why they destroyed all this stuff, standing over you, bodies on bodies, man. You see what time it is when we talk Olmec, used for the ancient ball game of Olmec creation. The Olmec themselves called themselves the Shi, right? XI, the same name that they used when they were in China. Come on, man. So they just brought China right to you, right? They brought China right to you. They're bringing China, they're bringing India Superior, they're bringing all this stuff right to us, man. Map drop after map drop, man. Go get your map packs, man. Because when you go over to where North America would be, you have Tibet, you have Tangu, you got Mongi, the same as we was just pulling out on the other maps. And check this. You got Tibet, you got Tangu. Gotcha. Tibet, you got Tangu. Right next to each other on that map. This is Wikipedia on these Shi, right? They said the Olmecs called themselves the Shi, right? Shi. These Western Shi, go to war with Genghis Khan directly. So we know what time it is. Now we're combining the Mongol with the biblical, with the indigenous history for the dismount, greatest dismount of all time. Because the Shia, little besides the rise of Temujin, who is Genghis Khan, all right? Tagru's son. Tagru is King David or Prester John. Nilja Senjin fled through Tangu territory. So here we got this Tangu again. We just got this Tangu. Right up here, Tangu. This is where North America would be. This is Tibet. So where's the real India if this is Tibet and this is Tangu, my naga? Where's the real India? And this Ptolemy. Ptolemy is 1548, man. South America, Brazil, Peru, connect to Florida, Mexico, and what do you got over here? China, Cathay, India, and what's up here? Tangu. So this Tangu on the Roosh map, Tangu with Tibet right here. It's the same Tangu, but where's Tibet here, right? It must be right by it, because this is India Superior. And it's the same exact configuration as they have here in the British Museum in 1530. With India Superior, Cathay, Mexico, and Prester John right here in the middle. My noggin. Come on, man. So Prester John will be right here where this Cathay is. Same way they got Cathay over there. Same way they got Cathay right here. Cathay, Prester John, India Superior, Tangu, right? India Superior, Tangu, Khan. We can't get it no clearer, my nigga. Tangu with Tibet right next to it. Let's go. Shit. You got Tagru defeated in 1203, right? So Prester John, right? Because Tagru is the Wang Khan. Wang means what? King. Khan means prince. Prester John, Khan of the Karyats, Karakata. He goes to war directly with Prester John, or Genghis Khan, also known as Tagru. Temujin used this as a pretext to raid the Western Shi. The resulting attacks in 1205 caused one local Tangu noble to defect to the Mongols. The Tangu are the Shi. The Shi, which also translates to high, white, or pure, kingdom, great, just like Mongol, just like more, just like Mongol, just like more, lofty. These are the Tangu, my naga. Tangu, right? And these Shi are the Almeg, my naga. Because the Almegs called themselves the Shi. Especially when they were in China. And we say, where's China? It says right there in North America, La China. Cathay, which Marco Polo called China. My naga. Let's go. Mongol means great one. Great ones. Love to my sister Sonia. Mongol means great ones. Great chronologia.org, Prester Johannes, Prester John's everywhere. We just started searching. They been searching, man. Let us return to the descriptions of Prester Johannes and his kingdom. As we have realized already, his kingdom most probably identifies as the medieval Russia, Rus, right? Or the Horde, order. Horde means order. And also known as the Great, which equals Mongolian Empire. Mongol means great. So when they try to flip it into some barbaric situation, these Mongols, you're talking about the greats, which are the Moors, but which Moors, right? Which greats? The real greats or the ones taking the title as great, as Khan, as Prester? Yeah, because Genghis Khan wants to be a great. He wants to take the title. According to the medieval tradition, Prester Johannes belonged to a very old genus and was really a descendant of the Magi. He had the Magi, he had the magic. Possible that the tribes of his subjects were the same as the infidel Turks of the Benjamin of Tudela. But now you got to get into that Kofar al-Tarak situation. But let's go. Let's go. Ruler of a Turkic nation? Well, that's when Genghis Khan took the title. Now you could say that, but before that, you're just talking about the Karians. Kara means melanated, colored, copper colored. They call black. Kara Katai. Katai is Cathay. So you're going to hear this Katai, which is Cathay. Cathay is Katai, which is China, which is right here in America, or Calais Loose. We must note that the Magi, as mentioned above, are most like probably the same old Mongols, or Mongols, which are the gray ones, linked with the famous Karian prince, right? Kara Katai. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, this is crazy right here. In ancient times, the Chinese were known as the Karas, right? Like the Kara. They just said the Carians. Famous Cariot prince, right? So the same Cariot changes the K to a C. Now you got the Caries, right? And the Chinese were known as the Caries. Medieval Europeans believed the Caries to be a city in the Orient that has given its name to that region, as well as a nation and a type of fabric. So you got the land of the Caries was the original China, Managa. And that's why we just got on that map that this Cathay that's in India Superior, or La China, you know what I'm saying, it's all the same thing, land of the Karas. But the Kara means melanated. They call black Cathay in real time. And then they connect them, you know what I'm saying, again here with the Kitai. So the Kitai, Kitai, turns into Cathay. You dig? So these are the Kara Kitai under Wang Khan or Prester John. Then they even start connecting the Syria with Assyria with Ashur, which is very interesting. You go down that route. Oh man, there's a lot to connect here. But we're gonna pick up probably right here on Prester 79, because I want to dissect this document. There's so much to go in there. But like I said, it's the greatest dismount of all time, man. All time, man. Back to the Anatolia for the Manco. We're going to get more on chronology next time as well. The Mongol Empire and the legend of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, who becomes Prester John. So he ain't Prester John, but after the invasion, after Temujin invaded Togrul, he becomes the Prester. He becomes the Khan, right? He becomes, this king of kings, you know what I mean? He becomes the one, right? So he had to take the title, but it didn't truly make him a Prester. It didn't truly make him the Khan. Now they have their summaries here, King David of Israel is equated to the great Khan, and this one to Prester John of the Indies. So King David of Israel is Prester John of the Indies, is the great Khan that Marco Polo and them was looking for, that Columbus said he's looking for the great Khan in the Atlantic Monthly Journal, volume 104. You know what I'm saying? It's the same Khan that Genghis Khan stole, the Khan. He stole this great Khan, right? Yeah, the Mongols were descendants of the Magi, just like the Prester, because the Mongol means what? The great ones. So their partial conclusion is that the Mongolian project is the same as the people of Israel, or the great ones are the same as the people of Israel, which makes perfect sense. They say Canaan is the whole world. I guess in that perspective of Genghis, it would be because they think Genghis Khan would be David, but they just said that Genghis Khan becomes David, right? He steals the David title, he steals the Khan title, he steals the Prester title to become Prester John. So that's why this partial conclusion ain't really whole, because, David is David and Genghis is Genghis. But they are the people of Hawa that Christianity becomes theirs, and they are at the root of the main spiritual schools. So, again, if he's thinking Genghis, then yeah, a lot of them converted with the Christianity. They are at the root of the main spiritual schools. Well, now we're just talking about the code, the David frequency. This is why the Mongols and the Israelites are people of shepherds. These are the same people. Prester John becomes around the 15th and 17th centuries the great Khan that moves to Ethiopia, or we're just talking about a distant land, or he been at a distant land. And at a time when the edict proclaiming the rule of peace and justice for all is decreed, it is a message of the New Testament. Oh, here comes the hijack. But they are telling you that at the core of the message that they hijack with this new hero JC, at the core of that is the Prester. At the core of Johnny the Baptist is Prester John with the fountain of youth, dipping his family in the living water, not some pool and not some ocean, living water. And that of the main sacred books, all this is at the core. The Prester John appears. Then from the hand of the myth of JC, bang, look at this, Krishna, Buddha. All this is stemming from the Prester investigation. All this is a reflection of phantom and a duplication. All of it. Of what's happening with the Mongol, or the great ones, the order, the Israelites, and specifically with King David. This is where they're getting all these reflections, phantoms, and duplications. Ancient history ain't ancient. They just reflected your reality. The magi of the east would be the Khans who have blessed the appearance of JC. Stop it. This is what they did to make you bow down in the New Testament. And again, I'm going to take my time in all this. Man. But you see here that, we got a lot to connect. Prester John is a descendant of the great Khan, who by indications of all three Indian kings, three Khans, becomes the Lord of the Indies and earthly ruler, right? Jeremiah 30, whom I will raise up. In the same election, the three kings and the great men of the Indians agreed to choose the memory of the Apostle Thomas as spiritual leader for the perpetual government of their lands. This leader would be holy and die a virgin. So when they rewrote what they had to do to get to their phantoms, he had to die a virgin and be holy. Prester John would not call himself king or emperor. Nah, he's the Khan. But yeah, this is some more recon going on with some other, reconners, man. And it's really good to, dig on it. And you see this struggle, with this law of Muhammad situation that, directly contradicts what, is coming out of the Prester John. This is the Chronicle of Prester John explains that there was a great Indian prince who had only one daughter who had to marry, and he did it with a Christian gentleman from the Western Europe. And whether he was a real Christian or an historian, again, the union causes a struggle with the followers of the law of Muhammad because they wanted that daughter, because Genghis wanted that daughter. There's a lot of correlation with this Muhammad and his Genghis situation, man. Marriage is blessed by water, by John the Baptist, by fire and blood. The Holy Father is equated with Prester John. Just like the Pope, it's originally the Prester. He's taken the title of the Prester, calling himself the Pope. Oh, man, it goes in. It goes in. The manuscript shows that the design of Prester John and Christ, who was not originally called Jesus, is a model inspired by St. Thomas. Christ and Prester appeared by the work of three kings who would be the three khans of the Indies who would have to decide to honor their spiritual leader Thomas. So now they're flipping it on this Thomas. We got to really dig on this Thomas. And of course, Prester is a title. So is this Thomas a true Prester? Would he fall, in line with the scepter, never departing from Judah? You know what I'm saying? It says they are literally the Magi, which the New Testament would have transformed into the chronicle of three kings who would have come to the east to praise the new king of Israel. So, David being forever, forget that. We got a new king. We got a new hero. We got a new hero. And then it gets into this Anatoly Fomenko, the new chronology of Anatolian Fomenko and Novinsky represents the authority of Christ of the descendants of the princes. This pact would be equivalent to the Ark of the Covenant of Solomon, which would guard in Ethiopia the Prester John, or Emperor of Ethiopia, or Abyssinian. In the parallel reading, it amounts to the myth of Mary Magdalene, who would have married a king of the Western Europe and who would have given birth to Christian powers in Europe. And now the hijack's popping off in real time. Man, I mean, you see how they equate this. You see how Anatoly Fomenko is breaking down this history. And this is all supposed to be main phantoms and reflections. So according to their retelling of the story, Anatoly Fomenko is breaking down all these are parallels or duplicates of each other. Which one's the real one? I'm going to go with the khandrop flow, the Prester flow. But it says the ancient Russian history. So if you're talking Russia in the 900s to the 1200s, all this is Israel. Habsburg Empire from 1273 to 1600 AD, Holy Roman Empire at the same time as the Russian, right? From the 10th century to 13th century AD. So the original Redma, we're talking Redma. Remember that Hebrew word of the day? Let's see if we can pull it up over here. So we saying the original Redma is what they're getting from, or Roman is what they're getting from Ramon, which is a Hebrew word. This Hebrew word connects to these new beginnings, connects to this promised land. Hebrew for both pomegranate and grenade. Oh man, I'm trying to cut off this. All right, well you see it, man. So it's Hebrew for both pomegranate and grenade. Remon. This Remon became Roman. So when you hear Roman, it's connecting back to the pomegranate that, Joshua and Caleb had to, find to prove that they're in the promised land. This Remon connects to the pomegranate, granate, or the granada, or as we call the pomegranaga, but it's all Ramon. It's all Ramon. All right. So when they try to bring in these Ramon empires, then you say which one? And according to Fomenko, the Ramon Empire, from this 900s to 1200s, or this third Roman Empire from 3rd to 6th century AD, or they keep pushing it back to the BCs. Remember, they're pushing your history back, timelines back. Right now you're in the BCs. Connected with the Byzantine Empire. Whether you're talking 300 AD or whether you're talking what's happening right after this Papal Bull 1452 or right during the situation, all this is happening. This is who they went to war against. This is who they took out right after the Doom Diverses 1452. They immediately took out the Byzantine Empire in 1453, my nine. So they're saying it's all the same thing as the ancient kingdom of Judah according to the Bible and the ancient kingdom of Israel according to the Bible, man. I can't make this stuff up. You're talking chronologies on a head bone. Yeah, man. Oh man. It's a couple good docs we're gonna get next time as well. 100 years, 1,000 years was added to the calendar going in on for Manco, making of a new timeline. Drop Nation been dropping this drop, for a minute. So, we're all just kind of compacting the information now and kind of going back and seeing, what I'm saying, what's left for us to connect. But we will be, digging even deeper on this chronology, man, in real time. I mean, looking at this Holy Grail, Imagination and Belief by Richard W. Barber, going back into the romances, man. And romance has everything to do with a hero of the Templar, Parsifal, and Tutorial set out with the Grail to find a new home for her. They travel far afield and eventually come to Marseilles. Guided by the Grail in their wanderings, they embark and voyage to India, where the legendary Prester John rules. He is both priest and king. Which India? Priest and king, Prester John, and his empire, which embraces the whole Asia, is a fitting resting place for the holy vessel. This palace stands near the earthly paradise and is even richer than the great than the Grail Temple. Much of this is drawn from the traveler's tales and from the tales about Prester John, a great Christian empire. Or we're talking historian, because remember, they're trying to convert the man who would ally himself with Western Crusaders and retake Jerusalem. It is to Prester John that the Torah recounts the story of the Grail. We got before that, Prester John is the Holy Grail. In real time, in battle time. Like I said, we're going to take our time next time, even more with this as well. This great drive by Aqua Sonia, digging on the kingdom of Prester John. It says, he sought to effect a junction with the half-fabled Christian empire of Prester John by way of the Western Nile. Wow. I.e. the Senegal in an alliance with the potentate to crush the Turks and liberate Palestine. Now, the Moors themselves admit to being the Turks, so they wanted Prester John to crush the Moabites, right? But Prester John was already, at war, what I'm saying, with these sultans and all this situation. On land, he again defeated the Moors. So they try to find about where the Western Nile, the conception of an ocean route to India, appears to have originated after his death. On land, he again defeated the Moors who attempted to retake the Ceuta, Ceuta, in 1418. And I think they're talking specifically about Henry the Navigator, right? Because Prince Henry is over there looking for Prester John to get help to fight that, more and more situation, or even that was a more and more situation. I mean, they got their own infighting going on. Prince Henry the Navigator, man. I told y'all, man, it's the greatest dismount of all time, man. Cause we just popping on, man. They don't mind us, man. We in the romances. We talking Holy Grail. We in the Encyclopedia Britannicas, all looking for Prester John, going crazy. Cause we know this is the old world. Love the Aqua Sonia. Back to this mystic masonry book. We know this is the old world. The cradle of the symbolism used in all masonry is placed by many of the best authorities in that country, which they believe was first inhabited, i.e. the plateau of Tartary, Grand Tartary, right? And from there transmitted to this generation by the sages, the Magi of India, Persia, Ethiopia, and Egypt. We are not indebted to either ancient Egypt for either religious or masonry, but to America. We're not indebted to any Egypt over there, Africa over there, for our spirituality, for our masonry or our ability to build and our mathematic, what I'm saying, mathematics, sciences, all that. I've been popping off. Let's go. We're not indebted to them over there, my naga. This is the old world. We're indebted to America for our masonry, for our secrets, for our drop. It is a fact that at Memphis, Egypt, in the pyramids, under the guidance of the king, the mystic rites of masonry were worked many thousands of years ago. The masonry, the rites was worked many thousands of years ago. But at that time, listen up for the dismount, man. Egypt and the continent of America were one and the same. Say it again. Egypt and the continent of America were one and the same. Say it again. Love the cootie mayo. Egypt and the continent of America were one and the same. This is the old world. This is the old world. This is the old world. And even in this Carta Marina Nova map, you see it again. India Superior, Cathay, and Tangu. When you know Tibet is right there with it too. Mexico right there. Florida there. We in the old world, man. We popping off. I appreciate all my knowledge for seeing clearly what or not. We're going to get this document next time. I just pulled this out the drive library. You see the sun done come up, man. I've been popping off all night with you. We're going to dig on the prisoners of Prester John, digging on this Portuguese flow and how they're looking for, there's someone under this title who may or may not be the King David, but it's someone who's rocking this title, or they're giving him this title. We're going to get more into this chronology, this flamenco, and we're going to keep popping off, man. And, just let you know that this Gallagher of Batavius added over 1,000 years to the timeline. Joseph Scaliger Batavius. These two guys right here, man. It's all been their work. And we got to look a lot deeper, and get into this mathematical approach that Antoni Flamenco did to put together this timeline. But we got to question the veracity of these jabronis that want to make everything so-called ancient, man. So-called ancient. This is how we know that right now we in the tune, we in the flow. Prester John, King, Pope, Saint, Caliph. Yeah. Three wise men turn into the three wise men. But just know that we're just talking to Prester. And this was their questions for the dismount. Was Prester John's tale a cheap ripoff of medieval romance about Alexander the Great? Was Prester John a Christian Tibetan Lama who ruled the mythical kingdom of Shambhala, or Cibola, or Shangri-La? Was Prester John, since Prester John wasn't Christian after all, but was in fact a Tibetan or Indian or possibly a Mongol, great one, who ruled, ruler who just had Christianity attributed to him after the fact. Bang! Prester John was the king of Ethiopia or Abyssinia, where more Nestorian Christians could be found. Nestorians, right? Old king renowned for wisdom. Prester John was Patriarch John of India, who visited Pope Calixtus II in 1122. Oh, man. So we got more questions. We are answering ourselves, man. And we just popping off with the Prester John investigation, installment number 78, man. Hey, keep surfing the wave, my niggas. And just remember to stay up, to suit up, and to choose up at all times. And dodge all hijacks at all costs. And you do that by MHOE. Support MHOE. Get your mod pack one in the drop shop. Click the links below. Ahab to my real ones. Appreciate y'all for surfing the wave with me and for Nagarville. Support Joy World. Help us build a fence in Udall for Nagarville. The Wada, you are truly appreciated.